Can you just give us an opening statement, and then we'll hand it over to Nick for some questions?
We can't handle prosperity, obviously, from the first half. I can say that. I guess we wanted to keep the TV and the gamblers in there watching the whole game there for the second half. But we'll take the win. I'm very pleased that we got a win. I thought for the most part the first half, we did a fantastic job in all three phases. And then the second half couldn't have went worse than, we looked like a completely different team. But our guys are resilient. They kept believing. We challenged them all week to keep believing, just believe in themselves, believing. Don't go after the outcome. Just keep fighting for each other. And it looked dark there. We were able to get a stop. And be able to go I think it was 92 yards there. Obviously, it was huge when we didn't. I don't know if we had 92 yards of offense in the second half. All right, so we were very bad offensively, but to be able to get a win, and go to 2-1 in the conference when it looked ugly there, we'll take that. And so there's the positive of it is you can show a first half where you did some good things and say, if we can just do this consistently for 4 quarters, if we can put one together, then you like your chances to continue to get better. But we'll take it.
13-play game-winning drive. I think the previous 3 drives before that totaled 13 plays. What clicked on the last drive? How were you able to put that together?
Well, I don't know if defensively they started out playing a little softer, maybe like, hey, let's don't give up a big play. And we were able to get out of the end zone there. We got a first down, got a couple easy throws. I think I gave our quarterback a little bit more confidence. He'd been struggling a little bit, and they were scared to give up big plays. And I think we were able to we didn't try any deep passes. We just tried to get some quick game and some things to try to because we had the 2-minute warning and three timeouts, I believe. So we didn't approach it like a normal 2-minute, and I think they approached it like a 2-minute, and I think we had some right play calls on, and it allowed us to get some positive yards. And they got tired, and he was trying to save his timeouts because he was thinking he might have to get the ball back, and so their defense got tired, and that's when we were able to continue to move it down. So I wish we'd look like that all the time. Obviously, I wouldn't have all the gray hair, but I'll give that whole group credit. We didn't have a drop pass. We didn't have a misassignment. We didn't have a misalignment. Everybody did what they were supposed to do. When the previous whole second half, we had mistake after mistake, and so those guys locked in when they needed to.
Defensively on the last drive there, and there was the big chunk play in the middle. I feel like the middle was open a lot tonight defensively. Was there something that they were finding in coverage there, or just?
Well, that last play specifically, I need to look at it more. But if you look at the clock, there was 10 seconds left, I think. And so the only thing that they could do is get a big play and call a timeout. Like if they throw it underneath, they got to run and you tackle them, and they still got to call a timeout. At least maybe it's Hail Mary, right? And so I need to see the call there. But I think if we go back and look, we'll probably say, hey, not the best guy. It looked like we were in 2-man. That's what it looked like. Which nothing wrong with 2-man, but if they throw it down the middle, like my argument would be, hey, that's the only thing they can do. So let's back up about 15 yards, make them throw it underneath us, and tackle the guy because they needed a chunk play to get even close. And I think. What was that play, 40, 30-something yards at the end? So, 15, they're still out of field goal range. And, luckily their young man missed it there. And so, but I'm not necessarily the 2-man call, but we got to play it smarter if that's what it was and looking at it. Because with the time left, only way they can beat you is getting a deep play. Or at least an opportunity to try field goal.
Do you feel like your team stayed together the whole distance? I mean, even, it didn't feel great at times, but did they?
As high as it felt in the first half,
yeah.
Best first half, arguably we've had all year. I mean, if you think about it, we had the 1 turnover, it's just a bad play. But the rest of that, you got special team score, playing good defensively, making your kicks. We scored in the red zone twice, I think. So, and then the second half looked completely. But there was no doubt. Those guys they kept encouraging each other on the sideline. When it looked rough, the defense kept encouraging the offense, and vice versa. And everybody just talked about, hey, let's just get a stop. We can make a play. We can make a play. And so there was no doubt. That says a lot. When you've been struggling, which we have, and it looked bleak. Guys just kept fighting and believing, and I think you saw that in that last drive. There was no doubt that, hey, we can go find a way to score, and the way the guys were fighting and playing. And so Dante Lee, was great on the last drive, and the Evans run there. Just we can't say enough about the guys' belief in each other.
2 muffed punts, kick return for touchdown, perfect on field goals. How important was special teams today?
It's huge, I mean, if we make our kicks, they turn it over, which matched the turnovers we gave them, and so it kept us, there in the second half. It kept us in the game. If he don't muff that punt, we get a field goal. Obviously, can't score, but I mean that keeps us in striking range because our defense hadn't stopped them, and so in that whole second half there. So I think our special teams has played. In general, overall, we'll take away some of the kicking, have played really, really well. Played with great effort. We've tackled well, and to get a huge return like that was phenomenal. One of the things that you'll see as a big play in that game for me was when we got the stupid penalty there after we scored. They could have got that ball away, and Max kicks a great kick where it bounces over the guy's head. That was a huge play in the game. Huge play. He kicks that out of bounds. They get the ball at the 40, 45. If he kicks it right to it, that's their best player. You average 35, 40. We were able to keep him to the 25. That was a big play in the game right there. So I thought our special teams did well.
Going to your run game a little bit, at 30 carries, 114 yards tonight. What did you see out of that group? Dickens obviously was a little bit banged up coming into the game, but do you feel like you have enough out of that group to kind of get this team to where you want it to be down the stretch this season?
Well, I think we're running hard. I think that we got to be able to finish some runs, meaning run through some arm tackles and create some more explosive plays. I think we got to finish more up front, and I think sometimes we got to stick to it more and try to do a little bit more of the run game. Sometimes when you get 2 or 3 yards, we might think, hey, we need to throw it, or you get 2nd and 5, let's throw it. But and sometimes we might need to stick to it more so we can try to tire the opponent out, and maybe those runs become 10, 15, 20 yards instead of 4 or 5, and so. We're capable of running the ball better. I think we got to just be more consistent and finish blocks. And what I mean by that, we get on a guy, but we got to finish him through the whistle, and some of those things that we got to do a better job of. And so we'll look at it. I thought there were some good things we did running it, and I thought sometimes that maybe we could have stuck to some things a little bit more too as well that were working. So we'll see, because like I said, the second half after we get we turned it over on the sack, right? Turned it over on the sack. And then, after that, I don't think we did anything for the next 3 or 4 drives. We got a big play and got a penalty, a tripping call they called on us, which I need to look at that and see if it was actually tripping. And we just didn't do much, but we tried to stick to the run game. That's what we started, just trying to, jumpstart something.
Finish blocks too. I mean, some of that just. You're thin on the offensive line. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta finish. Your job's to finish blocks. And you gotta have that mentality. And everybody gets tired. And so you gotta be able to finish blocks, and we gotta be able to do that consistently. Because if we can do that consistently, the runs will open up. They'll go from 4 to 6 to 10 to 12, because the defense will get tired. And so we just got to do a better job there everywhere. O-line, tight ends, perimeter. Like, perimeter's got to finish blocks. They got to. I thought they did a good job starting out blocking tonight, but when our guys get on the perimeter, they got to hang on those blocks a little longer so we can get more yardage out of it. That's something overall offensively. The thing we've been emphasizing is finish blocks. Don't just get the block, finish it.
Coach, in the fourth quarter, when you ended up kicking the field goal after special teams makes the play, what kept you from going for it in that situation, down 27-20?
I think it was 4th and 5. All right, and from an analytics standpoint, from a percentage standpoint, you take the kicker's been kicking, you take the points, you're down 4. I think, if I'm not mistaken, 8 minutes left, somewhere around in there. 3 timeouts, 2-minute warning, and so you trust, hey, our defense, maybe not in the second half. We put them in some bad positions, but also we couldn't get them off the field. Had played well in the first half, and they played extremely well versus UTEP. So you trust your defense in that situation. Hey, let's get it to 4, build some confidence as far as, hey, we're down 4. We know if we can get a stop and get a score, you can take the lead. So I felt like that was the best percentage play gut-wise. I don't have an analytics book, but just gut-wise, it was the best play. Get us down 4, plenty of time left. I think if after a turnover you don't come out with any points, that's demoralizing. Yes, we want a touchdown, but we needed some points out of that because we hadn't done anything up to that point, so that was why.
I was going to ask you about the defense. Held them to 6 points in the first half, and they scored touchdowns on 3 straight to start the second half. Did you notice anything differently they did, or were they just able to?
I think we turned it over, obviously, in a couple of those situations. So they gave them short fields, and then they were leaning on us a little bit from a run standpoint. You know, some of their runs they were running, and then quarterback made some good plays. We could not affect him. You know, I could not affect him, and I'd have to look. I mean, they're 10 of 17 on third down. It seemed like every drive there, we had them on multiple third downs, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 8, and could not get them off the field. I mean, the one we had, I think it was 3rd and 14, and they got a touchdown off of. And so, you know, those are things that we have to be better at. Like, you get them in third down, you got to, percentage-wise, get them off the field some. I mean, this right here, 10 of 17 is and they were 1-of-1 on 4th down, so that's 11 out of 18. I mean, that's as good as there is in the country. That's terrible for us. And so I think our third down plan needed to be better. Where in the first half, we got them off all the time, and in the second half, whether they adjusted, whether we didn't trust enough to do something different, we got to be better there, because that's what I think that was the difference. Even when you turn it over, you don't want to turn it over on offense, but you tell the defense, hey, hold them to field goal. Don't let them get a touchdown, hold them to field goal. And they got I think 3 straight touchdowns, right, to take the lead. And so that was the disappointing thing, I think, defensively, that we allowed circumstances caused by ourselves turning the ball over, then we go out and just and we look like we can't play defense. And so that was a frustrating thing, is that you got to just hold them to a field goal.
What do we know about Joseph Carter?
I think we'll know more, but it looked like we had 3 guys injured tonight that all play, and it's not good with all of them. That's what it sounds like. You know, part of a short week, traveling across the country and playing in a short week like that. The recovery that you need to be able to play a game is tough. You know, from that standpoint, but it looks like we lost some guys for a while. I don't know all the details, but based off the preliminary stuff, it doesn't look good for the 3 guys that got hurt tonight. And other guys got hurt, but those 3 I know for sure had some serious injuries, and we'll know more.